Audio. It's an important component of games. Sound effects give you feedback and highlight your moves and the events in your environment. Music brings ambience to your game and is a big part of setting the mood in different situations. In this part of a two-part series, I'm going to teach you a bit about making music for your games. Before we get into the video though, remember to like and subscribe for more game dev related content. Also, I know how hard it is to get your game off the ground and into the public eye. So, I decided to use what little influence I have and mention an indie game project in every video from now on. You'll see today's game at the end of the video. I'll start out by giving an example of the importance of music in video games, using a classic game, Super Mario 64. Here's a video inside Peach's castle without any music. As you can hear, it sounds quite eerie and uncomfortable. You can only hear Mario yelling and walking. Your soundtrack doesn't have to be a masterpiece. You don't have to write a symphony for your game. Leaving music out of your game can be a bad decision, unless it's for design purposes. As I already said, music brings ambience to your games, so use it. Now, of course, many of you game developers might not have any idea how music actually works, and I don't blame you. But don't just leave it out because you don't know what you're doing. Best way to learn music is by making music. I'm not going to go too deep into music theory, because I honestly believe that it's not that important. And now, first off, when making music for your games, take into account the environments and situations you're making the music for. Don't just slap some music into your game to fill in the gap. With scenes supposed to create tension, add music that enhances that feeling. Also remember that not every part of your game needs music. For example, a mysterious, uncomfortable ambience can be achieved by using only some humming, or even without any music, and the only sounds you can hear are the sounds that your player makes. Your music can be a driving force for a player to do something. A great example is Skyrim. When getting too close to an enemy, the music changes into the battle music. Even if the player doesn't notice an enemy, they can still know that they are going to have to do some combat. Only thing you need to know about music theory is major scales, minor scales, and how to form a chord. Scale being an assortment of notes used in a song. Imagine a piano. If you play random keys from the piano, it might sound rather ugly. Just apply a scale and use only those notes specified by the scale. Of course, you might be wondering how you can define a scale. Well, I've been producing music for fun and for my projects for years now, and I can assure you I have the right answer. Just Google it. Major scales are more uplifting and energetic, and minor scales are more sad or dark. Of course, it's not that simple, and a song made in minor can sound hopeful and energetic, and vice versa. There's also more exotic scales, and you can experiment with them as well. Now, an extremely simple way to explain how to form a chord is to just take your scale and put different amounts of notes with a space of one or more notes between them. Here's the G chord, for example. Now, these are very bad explanations of music theory, but it works, so yeah. Now that you know a bit about music theory, you might be wondering, what exactly do you use for making music for games? For an absolute beginner, I would highly suggest using Boska Kjol, or however it's supposed to be pronounced. It's a simple program for making great music for your games. It's more chiptune oriented, but you can create a lot of great songs that are not as chiptuney as something like music on the NES. You get a complete piano roll with an option to show only notes from a specific scale. It's also completely free, and you can even use it straight through your browser. There are also loads of tutorials on YouTube for you to learn using the program. Tell me if you want me to make one. Some of you might not find it as in-depth as you need it to be. And for you, there are many free and great programs to use. There's a free version for FL Studio, a DAW used by loads of professional music producers. Though in the free version you can't save your songs, so you have to finish them in one session to be able to export them. In my opinion, FL Studio is not too complicated to learn, so don't be afraid to try it. There's also GarageBand for everyone who uses Mac OS. All in all, music is incredibly important for games. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, from now on I'll be mentioning an indie game project in every video. In this video, I want to show you a game called Bullet Runner by an indie game studio named Kami Games. The reason I chose this one is, first of all, I really enjoyed playing a demo I downloaded in GameJolt. But second of all, because I really liked the music. It was pretty fitting for the setting of the game. If you'd like to have your own project mentioned in one of my videos, subscribe to my channel and leave a link to your project in the comments down below. Anyway, hope you learned something from this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!